Hello.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay, I think. Welcome, and hello there, cat people, and welcome to episode 43 of the Shelter Cats podcast.
Welcome.
Tonight, wait, this is Dan the Catman and Michelle the Meow Maven. Did I get it
There
right?
you go. There you go. Look at
All
that.
right, all right. Not bad for an old man.
No, no.
So we are waiting for Nicole Smith. She is the owner and founder of Whiskers and Wine. They are in California, and I believe they're a feline related wine bar.
Yeah, basically, they serve food and wine and also let you hang out with cats.
See, now it's a very interesting subject, cats and alcoholic beverages. Have your cats ever had anything to drink? And not like, you've given them a shot of anything.
No,
Have your cats ever tried anything alcoholic?
not that I'm aware of. Um, but they were both about 10 years old before I got them. So who knows what sort of lives they led before before they came to be in my life. But since I've had them, I've not given them any. I can't guarantee they haven't taken a sip of something I've been drinking, but I have not.
Well, my first cat, Tyler, um, he tried vodka a few times,
And
and help. Not that cats ever have insomnia, but it helped him sleep really well.
oh, good.
He
Oh,
tried. He used to like. I'm not a beer drinker. Hello, Nicole.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
We were just talking about whether our cats have ever had any alcoholic beverages.
Well, they're not 21, right? So they're not allowed.
That's
And I don't know why I know you've done other cat podcasts before, but we're like the comic relief version of the cat podcast.
I love that. I
So
love
you're
having fun.
we were just wondering if our cats, because I've had cats for 25 years, Michelle also for a long time. You're on with my name is Dan, and you're on with Michelle, my co-host.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. We just got through a lot of rain here in San Diego, so I'm glad it's nice and sunny again.
Well, that's rub it in. That's very nice because we just got walloped with I don't know, anywhere from what'd you get, Dan? One couple inches? I got about 4 or 5 inches out by me of snow. So
Oh,
Our first snowstorm in 2 years.
yeah, it's true.
I'm
So
sorry.
our sympathy for your weather is limited, shall we say.
I understand.
But anyway, welcome to the show. You are episode 43. And we've become fascinated by, our show is like, it's turned into like a comedic take on anyone that's had an impact on the lives of cats, specifically homeless cats, shelter cats, colony cats, from people that do rescue to people that have just owned amazing cats. And we've become fascinated by people that have turned that into a business of some kind.
Yeah.
I know I have. So that's why I found you on TikTok, and they said you must message Nicole Smith and she will be on your show. That was what I was told. It sounded very serious. I was intimidated for 5 minutes, and here we are. So with that out of the way, can you introduce yourself and how Whiskers and Wine got started?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's, small business owners, we can use all of the outreach and different channels to do that. So thank you for reaching out and including me. So my journey is kind of interesting. I have been in corporate, or was in corporate America, HR, for over 20 years. And as you can imagine, it's a very challenging job. You know, I say adult babysitting executives and this.
Yes. I love that.
I was a
term.
corporate manager for about 20 years, so I completely understand.
Yeah, you get it, you know, and the 16-hour days. And it was just, I mean, I learned so much. It really helped me build a foundation for the business that we build here. But I happened to be on vacation with my husband and some family in Charleston of 2017 when they had the full eclipse. It was like an area you could see the full eclipse. And we were walking around downtown and we came across Pounce Cat Cafe. And I'm like, what? You can hang out with cats and have beer and wine. I'm like, sign me up. So at that point, when we got home, I immediately started working on a business plan. We started looking for locations. Again, another challenge. And that took quite a while. And we finally found a cute little area in North Park in San Diego on Adams Avenue. And it was just a box with a bathroom, but we're like, it's a cute area. Adams Avenue has different like art events where they close down the street, music events, food events. And so in 2019, we started building out. And, you know, contractors, COVID happened. So it was 2019. We started building. He said, you're going to be done by 2020. And of course, you know, everything takes longer. So COVID happened, and then COVID, right? So we're like, well, I guess it's good that we weren't open because we would have had to immediately shut down. On goes for 3.5 years of building. So it took a very long time. But so I continued working. So it was good that I still had my corporate America job while we were building out. And also during that time, we applied for the liquor lottery, which is something you can do in San Diego County, because otherwise it's very, very hard to get and very expensive. So we happened to be pulled out of the many people that applied for it, including, you know, the multi-million-dollar projects, bars downtown. We were a small mom and pop that won it, which was a huge deal for us because it would differentiate what our model looked like. So we worked through all of that, which is a whole other story I won't get into. But because we had a liquor license, it also meant that we had to be a bona fide eating establishment. I am not a restaurateur, and my husband is a consumer attorney. So we've learned a lot around, you know, it's good that he was, you know, had a legal background, but not a restaurant background. So we also ended up building out a kitchen. So we have the liquor license, the kitchen, and then we also built up. So the cats have their own stairwell up to a second story. We call it the catio because it's essentially an outside patio, but it's covered on the top. So they really have a resort. It's basically their home until they're adopted. So it's really a great space. We catified it. So there's built-in shelving. We've tried to make it look more upscale. So it's kind of aimed towards adults. So when you go in, you feel like you're in a lounge and there happens to be cute, cuddly cats there. So you can sip on a Meowtini and pet a kitty and have, you know, a cat prese if you'd like.
Yes, that was, I was going through your menu, and actually the cat prese was one of my favorite items that was on there. And along with the prosciutto flatbread.
Yes. We take full advantage of all of like the puns you can imagine.
Right. We've talked to a couple of other one cafe here on Long Island and another one in Wisconsin. Is that where it was, Dan?
With Whitefish, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. And because I happen to be a writer myself, so I love wordplay and I love puns. And every single time I am so just like completely amused by the names. And I've told Dan that we need to open up our own cat cafe, but all I want to do is just name the food items. That's it. I just want to be there.
So we'll just get as far as the business plan and never actually.
That's it. I just want to come up with the menu.
So wait, the corporate lawyer and the corporate HR open a cat cafe that you won the lottery for alcohol. Congratulations. And you had to open a restaurant. This is an HGTV show, if ever there was one.
Yeah, yeah,
That's an
Seriously,
awesome story.
yeah.
yes, it's definitely been an arduous journey, but very rewarding. I mean, I've always had a passion for animal welfare. I mean, my parents were hippies growing up, so we had, all the dogs and cats that you can imagine. And I wanted to be a veterinarian when I grew up. And, the therapy that they provide to humans is just literally when people leave the cafe, they're just like, oh, and I'm like, I know. And we're helping to socialize them, and they're not, we appreciate all the rescues and everything they do, but these cats are lucky because they don't have to be in a kennel. They can go wherever they want. We say, it's their home. So we're entering their home, and we're just, their servants essentially. So it's a great home for them. And yeah, the guests provide them love and socialization and get a lot back.
So how many cats are there right now?
So currently we have 15 kitties.
Oh.
So yeah, and they're a very cute group of kitties. So they get a lot of attention, not just from like all of our walkers walking past. They have their favorite dogs that like to come and look every day, but we get a lot of views on social media. So it's really helps support the amount of adoptions that have gone through. We almost sometimes can't keep up. So we've had to kind of manage the amount that come in and out every week, because within the first 6 months that we were open, we did 100 adoptions.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's incredible. That actually, I had a question about that. So during your your transition and your build out and all that, did you have cats in mind? Did you already have an affiliation with like a rescue group, or how did that kind of transition, work out? How did you know that you would have cats, first of all, to actually have in the cafe?
Yes. I mean, that is definitely, you can't have a cat lounge without the cats. So we were very lucky. I mean, we started posting just like, hey, this is who we are. We're coming soon. I mean, it took 5 years, but so we actually had some rescues reach out to us. And so we started kind of working through, what does this look like? What are the protocols that we need to have? How do adoptions look like? And it was with Saving One Life was our first partner. So we had the opportunity, because it took so long, to figure all of that out. And of course you learn along the way, but it was great. When we opened, we had, I think, 15 or 16 kitties with them. And they were quickly adopted.
That's great. That's great. So is that the only rescue organization that you work with, or do you work with others now?
Yeah. So we no longer work with them. They were based out of Arizona, and they closed their chapter here in San Diego.
Okay.
So we are now working with a wonderful rescue called Whiskers Without Borders. And they're
That's an awesome name.
That's adorable.
It is awesome. And it's two wonderful, powerful female founders. They have great business backgrounds, which is really, I think, helpful for a nonprofit. There's so many nonprofits that have big hearts, but it is a business. And so having that background is super helpful to ensure success and longevity of the rescue. And so, they are foster based. So they have anywhere between 100 and 150 kitties at one time, which is great for us, because we're like, we can help you save more cats. And they also do a lot of work across the border, helping the local community there, doing TNR, trap, neuter, release programs, providing, food and other care. And they also rescue cats across the border too. So their reach is pretty far in Southern California and in Mexico as well.
Wow. And I know Dan usually asks this question a lot, but I'm going to ask this one. What is the landscape of like homeless cats and cat rescue like out in San Diego? Is like, here on Long Island, we have quite a few rescue organizations and independent people. Dan's very involved with all the different organizations and things, and we have it's pretty robust. But even at that, we still have lots of lots of cats that are out there that need help. How does it, and we've talked to other people in other cities where they really don't have much of a network at all. And it's generally like maybe, one organization or two, or, trying to carry everything. What is it like out in San Diego?
Yeah, there's quite a few, from small all the way up to San Diego Humane Society. There's probably over 100 in the area.
Wow.
It's well needed because, in San Diego, we talk about kitten season, and certainly
Yeah.
that is a thing, but because it's a warmer climate, I mean, you see kittens almost all year round. It definitely slows down in December and January, but even with all these rescues, there's still so much need, and there's so many good people going out into the communities and doing TNR and supporting these rescues. A lot of them work together, which is also amazing. There's a organization, it's run by the Humane Society, called Cat Coalition, and they meet with a lot of the groups to get together and say, what's going on? Is there certain issues that you're having? Sometimes there'll be, diseases that are going around cats. And so there's a lot of education and communication working together to help save kitties as best as they can. So it's really a wonderful thing to see, but there's always more help that's needed. I mean, a lot of these organizations, when it is kitten season, are so full that they have to turn away, cats that are being relinquished or need help. So I always try and tell people to get involved, whether you're a foster or you can volunteer, which we also have volunteers that help us. So I'll give them a plug, but it's just, there's so much need, and it's so great to be able to help. And like, I know our volunteers just love coming because most of them have cats, of course, but they love the experience of helping save kitties' lives and helping them to get to their forever home.
Now, do you do this full time now? Have you told the HR people to?
Oh yes, yeah, for sure. As soon as I knew we were going to have that official start date, I gave myself I think a little over a month before we opened to get everything prepared, make sure the training of the employees and just everything was in order for new kitties. So yes, I am full time. Running a small business. So, it's interesting having kind of the cat side of it. And then you also have, the food and beverage side of it, and you mix that together, and it's definitely challenging, but it's really fun. And it's been such a great experience.
And how many other human staff are there?
Yes. Yes, we definitely are the staff to the cats. That's for sure. So on the employee side, I have 2 leads and then 5 other employees. And then on the volunteer side, we have, very active volunteers, probably around 15 to 18. And then some that aren't, as they don't come regularly, so it's probably around 30.
Wow.
But yeah, so those cats, they take a lot of work, and our volunteers love to come and help them.
Yeah, they do. Especially when you have 15 of them, give or take, living in the same space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the part that I'm very curious about. I looked at the TikTok, but logistically, the because we've spoken to a few, as Michelle said, and the cats are kept separate. So in my mind, the ideal establishment is the cats just go where they want, and they can come sit at the table and critique what you've ordered, help you decide. But there was the one we spoke to on the island. The cats have their own room, so you could have your in their case coffee, and then go in the back and do an adoption. You said the cats have a staircase and they have their own catio, and there's like a disco going on upstairs, and the cats are all dancing. Can the cats kind of that leads me to believe that the cats have free reign of everything. So if you're sitting at a table, is there a chance that a cat's going to jump up and you're gonna have to order them a drink and see what happens. Is that or am I far off?
No, actually, you're pretty close. So when you
I
when
just turned it into a date. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it's like. So when you enter Whiskers and Wine, that's where it's totally blocked off. We have a whole bunch of glass so you can see into the entrance into the lounge. So you check in and our staff kind of walk you through, the rules, like to keep the cats healthy and safety, like hand sanitizing. Don't let them drink. They're not 21, like I said, or eat your food. Like we have covers and stuff for the food and just, general rules to make sure that they understand, like, don't let them into the human staircase because they have their own. So we go through that so they understand the expectations, because it is the cat's home and they'll kick you out if you don't comply. And then once they've put in their order, they're welcome to go into the lounge. And because of like health code, we don't bring food into the lounge. So the customer is welcome to bring their own food in there. And then we have like covers and that sort of thing for food. And they can sit either downstairs in the lounge or upstairs in the lounge and have their food and drink.
Okay.
So they have full access upstairs, downstairs. The cats have full access to both sides, as I mentioned. And then the cats also have what we call it the cat cave. So if they are not into the humans that are there, or they just want to kind of get away, we have this little area. There's a hole in the wall where they can exit the lounge area, and they have a private room where, guests don't have access to, that has, shelving with bedding in it. They have their own bathrooms and food and water and that sort of thing, so that they always have, they can always get away if they need to have that break, because they have a hard life, so they need their naps and such.
It's such a hard life.
It sounds better than my home. It sounds better than my apartment.
A lot of our guests are like, I don't know, those cats are not going to be happy when they leave because they have such a beautiful resort that they live in.
That's great. So now I noticed that you do limit the amount of people that can be in the lounge at a time. How many people do you usually allow in there?
Yeah, we really base it upon the number of cats that we have, because we don't want them to feel overwhelmed.
Okay.
And we also have a building capacity. So right now, and a lot of these kitties that are in the cafe right now are new. A lot of them just came in early yesterday morning, and so they're adjusting. So we've limited it today to 14. So it's like almost a 1-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
Sometimes if we have shyer kitties and they might be hiding in the cat cave more often, we might lower it even more. And then, once in a while we'll offer a cat cave tour just to make sure that people are getting to see the shyer cats. And eventually they usually take some time and they'll come out, but some kitties are just a little bit shyer. So we really want to have that balance of human enjoyment, right? So that everyone can enjoy the kitties, but also ensuring that the cats are safe and healthy and not feeling overwhelmed by the number of guests.
Yeah, that's great. Is there like a time limit? Do they stay in there for a certain time, or?
Yeah, so we do reservations. So they're every 75 minutes. And then we have like a 15-minute in between for guests to exit and new guests to come in, which is a nice amount of time to have, a drink and food or just hang out with the kitties. But we also do fun events. So we do cat yoga every Saturday and Sunday at 10. And the cats actually really get into it.
I saw that on your website. I was going to ask you about that. So are they like climbing on people? Is it kind of like the goat yoga type thing, or like they're climbing on people's backs? And
well, yeah, I mean, some of them get more active and involved. We offer guests to put a little catnip at the top of their mat.
Oh my goodness.
So they get a little pumped up. So they like it. And a couple of our yoga and teachers do sound healing. So they'll play instruments, and when they do that, sometimes the cats they just pass out, and you can just see them kind of plopped on mats.
Oh my goodness.
It's really funny.
That's great. That's great. Little catnip and a little calming music and a little food. That's all they need. They're out. That's the life.
I have 7 cats at home, and I meditate twice a day, and two of my foster fails. One is 4 and one is 14. They meditate with me every single time.
I love that.
They know the music. They know the specific app I use. It's either Calm or Apple Fitness. And when they hear the voice and they hear the music, they jump on where I do my meditation. They're both on their backs and they're both passed out.
Yeah.
Great.
On their
they get the vibe. That's awesome.
on their backs on either side of me, feet in the air. And when I'm done, they're done. They get up and go about their business. I should film it for our TikTok, but I'm meditating at the time, so I'd ruin it. But it's uncanny. When you said yoga, I can curse. It's my show. They love that shit. They really do. Because mine are always trying to get me to nap more. Dude, you gotta stop. You gotta sit. Take a nap. They'll wait. You don't have to do so many podcasts. Wait a minute. Take a nap with us. It'll be there in an hour. It's fine. So cat yoga is a great idea because they practically invented it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why they call it cat cow, right? You're doing the cat stretch and all kinds of stuff.
That's so you could. I love that. I love that the cat's needs are first and foremost, and I love that you kind of organize everything around their well-being. I also love that you can be there. We're in New York, so it would take us a while to go visit you, but we will. Damn it!
I would love to host you.
We're going to take this show on the road at some point.
I think we should do that. Schedule, do like a massive, road trip across the country, visit all the cat cafes, loop around, just come back.
Those pesky day jobs ever stop getting in the way.
Damn them.
damn day jobs. Sorry, boss. Love you. But I love that you could be involved with them, and if the cats get overwhelmed, because I'm sure they get stressed. Half of mine, if I have any guests over, half of them dive under the bed and they come out when everyone leaves. So, I understand that it's stressful. It's strange people coming in. I love how they have the cat cave that they can run into. It's just, I love that the whole establishment has the cat's needs. That's what I'm picking up from this, is that the cat's needs come first.
That's exactly correct. I mean, it truly is their home, and we want them to have a good experience while they are with us until they're adopted. And so we are strict about the rules, like even picking up, right? That, you have a big human walking towards you. It's like, sit down, don't use your hands to play with. You might get scratched, right? We have toys. So we try and, these are kind of basic cat things that you should know, but not everyone does know that. So there's ways that, if you're low on the ground and lowering your voice, a cat will come up and hang out with you. But if you're walking around and talking loud, it's like, that's a great way to scare the kitties. So
yeah,
we try and educate as much as we can so that also the guests have a good experience and they don't, scare the kitties.
Right. Now, Nicole, what other sort of events do you have? You have the cat yoga. I think I saw a girls' night.
Yeah, we have singles night. So that's actually coming up on Thursday. So it's a great way to meet new people. We have different games, and we include the cats in it. So it's really fun just to meet a group of people and that all like cats. And they're a good distraction, right? So if you're a little shy, we kind of bring the cats into it. So it helps, the conversation be easy. So that's pretty popular. Bingo, cat bingo is super popular as well. And we try where we can to help raise money for our partner. So we'll throw in, if get some extra bingo cards, and it all goes to our partner, or we'll do fundraisers or that sort of thing to help them. So we have that. And then we have a therapist that does a lot of therapy around animals and different kind of new ideas of how to help soothe the self. So she comes and does what we call the Whiskers and Wellness workshops, and she does paint and pause. So, you're painting with the kitties, and, she helps kind of guide different activities like that. So that's fun. And we also try and include the local community as much as possible. So we have like local artist mixers where we try and support our local artists and that sort of thing. So lots of fun events where we're always trying to raise awareness of kitties and also help our local friends.
That's great.
And how has this is probably a dumb question because I know it's doing well, but how has the reception been in the community?
It's been really great. This neighborhood is just starting to, it's kind of up and coming, and there's a lot of new small businesses, and it's just, Whiskers and Wine is so different that a lot of people we have a lot of returning customers. So we've created what we call the crazy cat person package, which is a compliment. That is a compliment.
The best names for these.
That's great.
You got to do it, right? I mean, people love coming to the yoga, or they're like, you know what? I come for my therapy, and so they can get discounted rates and swag and stuff if they buy the package. So the community has really, I think, appreciated it, and it's fun to be in a supportive community too.
That's great. So what is your actual adoption process? So if I come in tomorrow and I hang out with the cats, and there's a little somebody I fall in love with, how do I go about getting him?
Yes. So of course, if you're having a glass of vino and petting a cat, you're going to be like, well, I want to take all of these cats home with me, right?
Well, that's why I haven't gone into a cat cafe yet, because I know I'm going to want to take all of them home. So
no, Michelle and I would have a problem. We'd have too many cats.
It's just a matter of time.
Exactly. So we want to make sure, one, that if you have had a glass of wine or something, that you are making the right decision. So on our website, we have a link.
Good point.
Yes. We have an adopt page that links directly to our partner's application. So you fill out the application, and then they will reach out and have the interview with you to see if it's a good match. And then once approved, we do pickups on Monday, and Mondays we're closed. So that's when we do our adoption. So you can come back once approved, pick up kitty, and be on your lovely way for the kitty to have their new forever home.
Oh, that's great.
And how, I always ask this question, how many do you have at home?
I have two. I have two orange kitties. They're brother and sister, and they're Bunny and Clyde.
That's great.
See, I'm sure you were wonderful in HR, but marketing, you missed a huge marketing opportunity. You were, if you ever felt like volunteering to do marketing for us, feel free to let me know, because you were very good at that stuff. The names and the crazy cat lady package. No one would be insulted by I want the crazy cat lady package.
Well, and it's crazy cat person, because all of the people love.
Pardon me.
Yes.
Pardon me. All inclusive. You're right. I'm showing my age here. I've always been a proponent of your pets should come with you wherever you go. I know logistically speaking that's impossible, but I never liked going to a restaurant, dog gets tied to the pole, like when I was a kid in Brooklyn, you'd see that. I was never a fan of that. So as Manhattan evolved, and there's indoor, outdoor, and your dog could sit with you, and there's always one person who walked their cat on a leash, and everyone gave them looks. But I was always a proponent of your pets should come with you wherever you go, and be integrated into your life. And you've started an establishment where you can go have a drink, have a cat crazy. Am I getting the name right? You could have a drink, have something to eat, spend time with the cats. And like you said, there's nothing more therapeutic than being around cats, because they literally, I think, clinically are proven to lower your blood pressure. So,
yes.
Not only you're having a glass of wine, which helps. You're having something to eat. So if you're hungry, you go in, you have something to eat. But the cat is also lowering your blood pressure. So even if you don't adopt a cat, you're prolonging your life just by going to Whiskers and Wine.
That's
It's
yeah.
it's so I love that this is a growing phenomenon. The establishments like this that incorporate animals and also benefit the animals because the animals, get a home. How many have you adopted? How many cats have found homes since you've been open?
Yes, we're just hovering a little over 180 kitties.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's really been great. The challenge, like I mentioned when we first opened, of exiting, 8 cats a week, is a lot for a couple reasons, right? So as we adopt kitties out, we generally bring around the same amount back into Whiskers and Wine. But that can be stressful when the cats that are staying have a big new group of kitties. And then you have to also consider like disease management when you bring a big group in.
Right.
Someone can get an upper respiratory because of stress or whatever. So we really have tried to manage that so it's a consistent amount every week, but not 8. So, 2 to 3 at a time, just to make sure, again, health and safety of the kitties, right? So we're not causing more stress than is necessary. So we've kind of slowed down a little bit. If we have a big group of teenagers that are a little more spry and resilient, if you will, we can do more, but we do try. We're just cognizant of the impact of doing too many at once and the impact to the home and all of that good stuff. Yeah.
Now, how does it work? You mentioned, when you bring in new cats, obviously you have to worry about disease. You have to worry about whether they're going to get along with the existing cats and all these other things. What is that process for allowing a cat to come into the cafe in the first place?
Yes. And you actually asked me before if I worked with multiple rescues. So that's a great question. So we only work with one rescue. And the reason why is to ensure that the kitties that are coming in are all vetted the same. They've all had, spayed, neutered, their shots. They've been through a quarantine for a specified period. Their wood lamp. So all these things to make sure, okay, are they ready to come into Whiskers and Wine? And the other thing that our partner does do is if there's 2 or 4 cats coming in and they're from a couple of different fosters, they'll try to put them together for about a week before they come in. So that way they know each other.
Okay.
And if it's only 2 or 4 coming into the group, that's not as hard as bringing 10 in at a time.
Yeah.
And so that way we can, when we ever have an intake, we have extra volunteers so that we can observe the cats. Usually, you always have a little hissing here or there, but if there's very aggressive behavior, we can separate cats. We can close off their stairwell so we can keep cats upstairs or downstairs and monitor. And also there might be a cat they were fine before, but it's just not the right space. Meaning not just hiding, but if you can just tell they're just frightened and it's not a good fit. So we really try and monitor because if they're upset, that's not good. We want them to be happy. So we always try and evaluate and make sure. And we normally try and bring in the new kitties on either Sunday after we close or early Monday morning. So that gives them a couple of days until we open on Tuesday at 4. So we can really observe and make sure, okay, is everyone okay? Or at least do they feel okay in the cat cave? And then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, that's just such a fascinating process because, anyone will tell you, and Dan and I have talked about it before, about when you bring cats in, even just to your home, and you try to introduce, 2 cats that I've never met before, especially if they're mature cats or they're, a little bit older. They might be set in their ways. They might, who knows sometimes you don't know what sort of home they've come from, what sort of trauma they've undergone. So, putting them together in a situation can be challenging. So I can only imagine the logistics and, the balancing act that you have to do for that.
Especially when there you have guests that are strangers, and that's a big,
Right.
you know,
And then and introduce the people into it. Right. Right.
cats will take to strangers. Each cat takes to strange people. Not strange like they're weird. Strange guests.
Unknown. Yeah.
The unknown person, who comes in just to check out Whiskers and Wine. Every cat handles that different. Some love it.
Yeah.
Some really just dislike it or get very stressed about it. So
Sure.
that's a lot to juggle.
For sure, it is. And you're exactly right. Some thrive and some are shy and some are not a good fit. Our partner does try and assess that before coming in. Situation, if they were surrendered or where they came from, and have that period of time to make sure it's good. And sometimes they're just like, we have some cats, but they need a little bit more time. We need to evaluate behavior. But certainly you never know what's going to happen when you bring them still into that environment, because it is different from where they came from. So it's definitely a challenge. It's always kind of interesting to see how it happens. Sometimes you just have the cat that's like, kind of vocal, like, like they hiss, but they're kind of just walking around and, they're not aggressive, but it's just the personality.
Just ornery, so just for the sake of being ornery. They're fine.
Yeah, totally. We just had a little prissy cat. Well, she was here a few months ago, but she did that whole thing and she was totally fine. She wasn't aggressive, but it's just like, okay, we get it, Margie.
So she just walk around and complain to people?
Yes, it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, the personalities are so fun and interesting to observe. They're all so unique.
They are. It's just so fascinating how unique they are. You're like, well, they're all cats. They should be similar at least. No, they're not.
Not at all.
No, to come full circle, we were talking about whether any of our cats have tried alcoholic beverages. My very first cat, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know why, but I did. My very first cat, Tyler. I've had a whole ton of cats. My very first cat all my cats have been rescues. My first cat came from a big shelter in the middle of Long Island, and he liked vodka. I'd like to, again, before we get comments on YouTube, I did not make him drink any of this stuff. He chose to do this of his own free will. It's not like I didn't force him to drink. I didn't give him a shot or a funnel or anything. So all you people on YouTube, shut up. He tried a little of my vodka and it helped him sleep really well. He liked the head of beer, the foam of beer.
That's great.
I'm not a big beer drinker, but whenever I would pour a glass of beer and it was very foamy, because I never know. I'm not a drinker. I never know how to pour it. I always screw it up. There's a lot of foam. He would run over and he'd start like licking it while it was going away. and he really liked the sauce of Bananas Foster because it had rum. There was one time, this is 20 years ago.
That is so specific, Dan. Who makes Bananas Foster at home?
I know. Thank you. I had a pool party. I had a bunch of friends over, and I don't know why somebody brought their wife, and I'm gonna make Bananas Foster. She brought a whole shit ton of bananas and whatever, brown sugar, rum, whatever goes into Bananas Foster, and she made it, and she took a whole pot, and it was a whole big thing of it. It was on the table. Next thing I know, he's on the table licking the sauce out of the bowl. That everyone, fortunately, my friends love cats, so no one was like, "Ew." Everybody got a big kick out of it. It was 20 years ago, so we took actual photographs. and he had, like, I'd say, a good couple of teaspoons of it. He went at it for a while, staggered. He kind of jumped off the counter, staggered a little bit.
Oh boy!
And then passed out for about 10 hours.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
All the same cat. No cat.
Maybe that's what I have to do with my guy with legs, because he meows like a baby throughout the night. So maybe if I just give him like a little something, maybe he'll
Give
just,
him a little peach. Give him a little peach schnapps. See what happens.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Now, again, I'd like to preface this again. I do not condone this. I do not. I'm not an advocate of making your cats alcoholics. Not at all. I do not. I do not. I do not favor that. My first cat had quite a pair on him, and he tried everything that I had, and it went over well. So I'd like to just preface this by saying, do not try this at home. Have any of the cats tried any of the? I guess you have covers, so that doesn't really happen.
I mean, they definitely, when people are eating, we've had a couple of like really fast little kitties come up and snatch a piece of cheese and run off, and we've had to like go grab it from them. It doesn't happen a lot, but I think, and we tell people do not feed the cats because they have their own meals, and we don't want them to have a bad belly ache. But
right, of course,
yeah, it's
the one
little fast ones,
No,
the one you said that was complaining. What was her name?
Margie.
Yeah.
Did she snatch anything from anybody?
She didn't, but you'll see a lot of photos. She was just adopted last night, but she actually looks like a cow. Like her pattern on her is it's really interesting. But she did eat a lot of her own food though, because she gained some weight while she was at Whiskers and Wine.
That's great.
So all her complaining, and she found the home. See?
Yes.
That's great. They're so cute. I would have 100 if I wasn't afraid of being institutionalized.
I know. This kind of allows you to have a lot of cats and not have,
but yet not have them. Right? Exactly. It's like a little bit of distance. Like they're not mine. Nope.
Nicole, one last question. Again, we've had the pleasure of having guests from various fields of influence, and we always end the interview way hours sooner than we want to. We could talk to you for days because we find it fascinating. But something I try to remember to do, or we try to remember to do, can you offer any advice to someone who is thinking of doing this somewhere else, who's thinking of opening a cat cafe? Do you have? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you could write a whole book of advice, but
yes,
like the biggest piece of advice that you can give to somebody else, what would that be?
Yeah, there's a lot. I could write a book. Is just ensuring you've crossed your I's and dotted your T's, and are aware of kind of the forward-looking things. Like if you have to build out, if you have to get a food license, these can take months and sometimes years. And so if you own a building or if you lease it, that can be very, very expensive. And, there are so many things we didn't know, but we learned along the way. And so ensuring, do you have that partner, and what does that look like? How does it work? Just, a lot of people going into it. A cat cafe, while there's hundreds in the US now, it's very new business model. And so doing all the research ahead of time to know, worst case, what does this look like from a timing, a financial standpoint, so that you're not put in a bad space where it doesn't work out. So plan, and plan some more. Talk to other cat cafes, what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, because everyone's has a different journey. Everyone's model may be a little bit different. So certainly just going in eyes wide open.
Awesome, Nicole. On behalf of both of us and our funny show, thank you so much for taking the time out of what is a very busy schedule, and talking to us about how this all works. Eventually Michelle and I are going to take this on the road. We will get there. we will come visit. We will do a live feed from your place.
I would love that.
How do people find you? Obviously, I found you on TikTok, but how do people that are not either close by or not close by, what's the best way to find Whiskers and Wine?
Yes, absolutely. Our website is www.whiskersandwinebar.com, all spelled out. Our handle for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is at Whiskers and Wine Bar. Again, all spelled out. And I want to thank you both, Dan and Michelle. This has been a really fun experience. I appreciate you including me to have this opportunity, and I would absolutely love to have you and do a live podcast from Whiskers and Wine. So yeah, let's please keep in touch.
That was great. I'm glad that we finally were able to connect. This has been fantastic. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you so much. Long live Whiskers and Wine. And if you're in the neighborhood, please go visit and follow the rules. And it sounds like a wonderful. That's like my dream job. If I could, I wouldn't want to. The whole process of opening one sounds really daunting, but if I could work there, make what I make now, and just hang out with cats all day and socialize them, that sounds like a dream. I was a waiter once when I was 16. I think I could do that. It just sounds like a wonderful, like a dream come true. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for what you do for helping cats find homes, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Getting them all homes, because they all deserve homes.
That's right.
So,
yes.
thank you so much.
All right. Thank you both. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.